Dozens are dead or missing after a powerful typhoon tore across the northern Philippines today. Now, the storm has since been downgraded, but it's still packing life-threatening winds, leaving Hong Kong and southern China bracing for the worst. Typhoon Mangkhut landed early this morning local time with the power of a Category 5 hurricane and is currently moving fast toward the South China Sea. South and southeastern China authorities have been busy making preparations for the typhoon landfall, including evacuating thousands of people and having ships return to ports. This Hong Kong resident says everyone is scared, very scared. They're mostly worried about the elderly, who insist on staying in their homes. Mangkhut has brought winds of more than 200 kilometers an hour, along with torrential rain, setting off landslides and flattening some homes. Most residents remained indoors as the gusts toppled trees, sent waves crashing violently, and pieces of debris flying about. In terms of strength, Mangkhut is the strongest of its kind so far this year. Its intensity is a reminder of Typhoon Haiyan, the Philippines still haunted by the devastation of the 2013 storm, which killed more than 6,000 people when it struck, took no chances with Mangkhut. Tens of thousands were evacuated from coastal areas and rescuers and troops placed on full alert. This local police officer says emergency responders were on standby around the clock and equipped with critical supplies. Mangkhut is on target to hit Hong Kong tomorrow. Its peak winds are stronger than those of Hurricane Florence, currently lashing the U.S. East Coast.
Okay, so Mangkhut, Hong Kong bracing for the worst there, but the true devastation has been in the Philippines.
Absolutely.
Now, this is Stephanie Christensen. She is the executive director of a charity called Shelter Box. Thank you for being here, Stephanie.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're going to talk about the kits that you are going to be taking over there. But first of all, let's just talk about the status of the storm right now. I mean, it has been well over 24 hours, and they are still getting battered, as far as we know.
This is a massive storm on the scale of Typhoon Haiyan was in 2013, and so it's still continuing over the Philippines, just ending there, and now, as we've talked about, mainland China is bracing, and then once the storm really hits full land, that will dissipate pretty quickly.
Now, you have people ready to go, but so far no boots on the ground. That must be a little frustrating.
It is, but this is normally the case. So Shelter Box provides emergency shelter. We have an office in the Philippines. We have regional coordinators in the Philippines, and they are already activated. And we have teams packed and ready to go. And as soon as those airports open, we'll be there.
So tell us about the kits that are going over. How many? Do you have a number of how many kits will actually go over?
So we already have aid in the Philippines for 2,000 families, and we have a lot more stored in the region that we can bring in once we have a better idea of the needs and the communities that need our aid.
So tell us about what will be in these kits.
So Shelter Box specializes in emergency shelter, either high-quality tents that can withstand 100-kilometer-hour winds and monsoon rains, or shelter kits, which are heavy-duty tarps, tools, and building materials that allow people to rebuild right away.
So we can see a picture of some of these items here. Axes, hammers, rope, all pretty crucial, I would think.
Absolutely. So in addition to the emergency shelter that we specialize in, we provide the things that families need to start that recovery. Blankets, mosquito nets, water purification, solar lights, cooking equipment, tools to rebuild. Basically the whole package that gets these families able to restart their lives.
Give us a sense of what you expect to see, the extent of the decimation, where you were just talking about these wind speeds, like we'll just pick people up and toss them. Their huts will be absolutely destroyed.
Yeah, so this is on the scale of a Category 5 hurricane in the Atlantic, which means that concrete buildings will sustain damage. But in the Philippines, most of the rural villages are living in bamboo huts. So we are preparing for the worst in that most people's homes will be completely gone.
Let's hope we don't see a death toll like in 2013 of 7,000 people.
And I think, though, that the Philippines is much better prepared now. They have evacuated. There are evacuation centers, and so I think that that will be a lot lower, but we're just hoping, and we really don't know the worst yet. There's still no communications. There's no power lines. areas, and we can't really get to the worst affected areas yet.
It must seem overwhelming at times, Stephanie. It must be just like a drop in the bucket of what is really needed, right?
Absolutely. And on top of this, Shelterbox is working in 8 other countries right now. It doesn't stop, but we will do everything we can to ensure that no vulnerable family is without shelter.
Well, thank you for your good work, Stephanie, and thanks for being with us today.
Thank you so much. If anybody would like to support our efforts, please visit shelterboxcanada.org.
Great. Thanks so much.
Thank you.